Yes, so you really want to pay attention to this segment, all right? So, Kiesha, I've had the great privilege of reading through quite a few of the chapters in your book, and I found it so inspiring. And so, like others, I am very curious as to what is your background. Can you share a bit about your background in general and how it has shaped your writing?
Certainly. So, good night again, everyone. Thank you all for being here. So, I came from very humble beginnings, a family of faith, that being of my aunt, but more so my grandpa. We lost him 2 years ago, but he was a pioneer of faith, and because of that, we didn't believe in fear. And because of that, that would have molded me when I was born with sickle cell. It didn't stop me. So when the doctor said, amputation, early stage kidney disease, lung and all those blood transfusion, I didn't stop because I know because of my faith and my faith in God, that would have shaped the person that I am today. So.
Bless the Lord. And as you reflect and as you think about your writing, what do you hope readers will take away from your book?
Certainly. So it's a call to deeper prayer, 31 days towards building undefeated faith for persons with chronic illness. My tagline says, chronic illness doesn't mean your life is over. So what I hope that they will take is that no matter the diagnosis, we believe God, not the diagnosis. And God says He healed all the diseases, and by His stripes we are healed. And I just want us to have that faith and that resilience that, no matter the diagnosis, with God, all things are possible.
And as an author myself, this question is one that I'm very, very curious about. What challenges did you face when you were writing this book, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Certainly. So, I would have written a book back in 2016, Here I Am Lord. It's now revamped, thanks to my coach, Crystal Day. Here I Am Lord, surrendering when it's uncomfortable. So look out for that book next year. So when I met with Coach Chris, she said, we should start with the devotional. And I've never written a devotional before because my book, Here I Am Lord, is like a memoir, like an autobiography. And so when I was faced with that, I read a lot of devotionals, like I hear his whisper from Brian Simmons, and so I will take from that. So I have like a layout. So of course I faced writer's block, but thanks to my launch team and my co-author over here, which is also the videographer Javon, he would have helped me write some days, and also my launch team would pray, and I have a team behind me praying, and then we will just do that breakdown. And based on my life experience, the Holy Spirit would have structured that. So though I faced writer's block, though I felt like I couldn't continue the days because it's 31 days, I have to keep going. Coach Chris would have always been pushing us, to finish our manuscript, finish within that timeline. And I just took the challenge and just prayed, and yeah. Positive purpose.
Awesome. You almost had me a little tear there. Really, really awesome. We are going to be closing this segment in a little while, but speak to your audience. What do you want them to take with them?
Certainly. Alright, so I have this actually written down, but if I can say it off the top of my head, I just want you guys to know that this book is not only a testimony of faith, and it's for every person struggling with chronic illness, but I just want to know all the warriors out there know that they are not alone. And as I would have said before, we believe God, not our diagnosis. So just continue to start with God, and once you start with God, it cannot go wrong. And make him your starting point. And as I would always say, faith talks, and also yet we smile warriors. Yet we smile.
Yet we smile.